program owners and not necessarily those of the Las Vegas Broadcasters Incorporated or its employees, management, or owners.
Jesus said to Peter, "Do you love me?" And Peter said, "Yes, I love you." And Jesus said, "Feed my sheep." Today we are here to receive manna from heaven, for man does not live by bread alone, but every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. With Evangelist Ray Cordova, welcome to the show.
Hello, Ray's not here. I'm filling in. You'll have to settle for me. My name is Harold. Ray is in Colorado, and if you want to find out more of what he's up to, you go to raycordovaministries.com, lend some support. He's got a donate button on there, and you can also find out more about him on Facebook. He may be back at the beginning of next week, and he might not, so we'll just have him in our hearts. And today we've got a great show. I'm excited about this show today because I'm excited about any time we can use things of the world to spread the gospel, and that's what my guest is doing. And I want to just help and spread the word and promote a word of his Christian convention. His name is Brian. And I promise to pronounce it correctly, Shigakawa. Pretty close.
You got it.
Yeah. Okay, Brian. Just tell us a little bit of your background, your mom and your father. You grew up in California, but this is a treat because Brian is Asian, and that is one of the faiths, one of the nationalities that is a little bit lacking. I know when I'm spreading the word and I hand a card to Asians, they're actually very difficult. I've run into them in the park and I hand them the card. They're very polite. But they just don't want anything. The ones I've encountered want to do with the card, with Christianity. They're very intelligent people. But they are difficult in my experience. So tell me what you think about that comment, and then we'll get deep into the convention.
Actually, I would say that you're right on the money for any first generation Asians. I'm a third generation on my dad's side and a fourth generation on my mom's side. So I'm very ingrained as a United States citizen. But yeah, I mean, if I ever approach somebody who just came from China or Japan, which is what my nationalities, it is for me, even as an Asian, difficult to approach them because they're very set in their ways, or they just don't want to hear it.
Yeah, in China, recently there's an Christian, and Lord willing, that will continue, but they were heavily persecuted for a long time. And even to this day, I don't know. I'll let you know more. You know more about the Chinese, what's going on there as far as freedom to practice Christianity.
Yeah. So all I know is there's a big giant push in not only the Chinese realm but the India realm, where those are the two biggest populations in the world, being at 1.3, 1.4 billion or so.
Yeah.
And each one of them have been gaining a lot of steam through either missionaries or just locals where they're discovering God. But they have to be in an underground church, because if they are seen, then the CCP will get on them.
See, listeners, count your blessings, and this is why we have to. What Ray says, and I say, we have to stand up and speak up, because the way this country is headed, we might down the road we might have to end up in underground churches. The way it's headed right now, and that would be a travesty. And in reality, we only have ourselves to blame. This is our enemies are very vocal, and we are very charismatic, and here we are just keeping it inside the four walls. He's taking it to the public. He's using all facets of media. He's bringing it into our schools, and he is delightfully bringing it into schools as young as 7 to 7-year-olds. else. So yeah, it's time to speak up. And Brian is one of those. I look at him and he's a kid. He's actually 39. He's blessed to have to look younger than his years. He might even, I would card him if I was a bartender. I would card you. You'd have to. I would think it's a fake ID.
Yeah.
But so it's so cool. But anyways, Brian, you suffered from addiction. This is so fitting. He was a gamer like me. But even worse than me. I had a gaming addiction to mobile video games, and so did Brian. How bad was it?
Well, I've been playing games since I was 3, and then but it got bad when around 18, 19 years, all the way to 21 years old.
And when you say addiction, how often did you play?
I was playing 12 to 16 hours a day.
Wow, that is incredible. That there's no life. There's no life.
No.
No outside life.
Nope.
I
rejected my friends from going to like even simple gatherings.
Your entire life was that game, that inside of that game.
Yes.
You didn't have any outside friends.
I did, but I just didn't go to their
You just didn't
hangouts.
socialize.
Yeah. I mean, like, I went to school, but after the school, then you're just like
Straight
back
to the
on
game.
it. Yeah.
You had game friends.
Yeah.
Friends you never met in person.
Yeah.
And that reminds us or reminds me of how Logan's Run. It's this you don't know it. Maybe you if you watched it, I don't know. It's where people are living in a dome. It's living in a dome. They're put to death at 30. They don't say put to death. They have a much more eloquent word for it. But it's in a dome, and they've never been outside of that dome. They've and everything goes inside of that dome, and finally somebody, a lead character, escapes, and he sees the beauty of the outside world. So you were in your own world and playing this game, wasting your life away. And it is a shame that there are no Christian video games that I know of. You're a gamer. Are there any Christian?
There are probably some out there, but I don't pay attention to
okay.
the gaming verse anymore. It's not part of my life anymore.
Yeah. But here you are, and you come. How do you come out of that addiction? You wouldn't even be here. You'd still be playing on your video game right now. We couldn't even have this discussion. So how did you come out of that addiction?
Yeah, that's a good question. I had so many things that happened to me internally. Like I wasn't drinking right. I wasn't sleeping right. I wasn't using the restroom when I should be. I wasn't. I had a bad sleeping cadence and got a kidney stone out of it. And on top of that, I knew somebody who, this guy named Dave. He actually. So I played with him on Thursday, and then it's like I didn't know where he was on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and luckily people knew him in real life, and they unfortunately found out that a blood clot went from his leg to his heart, and he died. Those two things I actually didn't take me away from the video games. It was because even though I was one of the best DPS hunters, and I guess for your viewers, World of Warcraft was the game that in the world I had the first giant stalker 8 of 8, and no one wanted to be around me because I was so passively aggressive over these items.
You became coveting. Get this, guys. He's coveting video game items. You can covet anything. Usually people covet, money or women or personables. Here, video game items, they do become very important to gamers. They give you an edge. But yeah, man, that is something, and that's why we're not supposed to covet.
Yep.
Yeah. You're obviously not going to church. There's no time to going to church 16 hours a day. And you told me you rejected God during that time.
Well, yeah, I'm just so engrossed in it. And yeah, I just was, that was all I was a gaming person or this hunter.
Yeah, that was your life. That was all your life. And then it's funny how this can work sometimes. You get a job as a quality assurance for a game designer, right?
Yeah. So the funny thing is, to wrap that up, I when the gaming community rejected me, being so passively aggressive and coveting these items, that I said I quit 50 to 70 times in the shower. Just said, I quit. And then after 12 to 16 hours a day of gaming, I now went to 10 hours in 4 months, which is nothing. I don't even know why I counted that amount of hours, but probably because I just hated it so much. And then what happened is that my sister actually got me a job off of Craigslist after, funny enough, at Activision as a quality assurance tester.
Yeah, and that made you. That required you sometimes to play the same video game for 900 hours, sometimes the same level, looking for bugs.
Yes.
So you hated that job.
Right on the dot. Yeah, it made me. I think that's the reason why I didn't go through withdrawals, because I think, oh, this is gonna be fun. I'm gonna be a game tester. But then no, there's a difference between playing a game and testing a game. Testing a game is a glorified database entry job.
So you hated video games, and did you come back to the church?
Oh yeah, full blast. Like once I was going and I did play, and once I tested 2 different projects, I had this void in my heart, and I didn't know what to fill it with and where my identity was. So then, yes, I did go back to the church in 07 summertime, and I've been full blast ever since for the Lord.
No, awesome. And what's so special about Brian is, and you don't hear this, at least I haven't heard it too much. He's a influencer. You might even be thinking, what's an influencer? It's the guy that's on YouTube who has probably like 10 million subscription, 400 million views, something like that. That's an influencer. People don't just turn to TV. The younger crowd doesn't turn to TV. They look to podcasts. They look to personalities that are on YouTube, and he's able to reach the young crowd, the 20s, the teens, the 20s, the young 30s, and that's what's so fabulous, because I'm not very technical, and this is and the magnitude of the scale of it is just wonderful. So tell us more about what you're getting together here on July 26th.
Yeah, absolutely. So something I have a heart for is for the younger generation. I am an older millennial, as you know, 39, and I know that we gotta help the younger generation out. And like, what are we gonna do about it? Like, how am I gonna use my gifts? Like, I guess I can say the parable of the talents. There's the metaphorical and there's the literal. Literal is using real money, and then metaphorical is, for me, the spiritual giftings, which is leadership, wisdom, knowledge, and helps. And not only being able to use your gifts and not bury those, but you want to also not bury your money, because if you're a daughter or son in Christ, every dollar, I truly believe every dollar that is given to you, you are a steward over. Here I am in my singleness. I would love to be married, but at the same time, I'm not going to wait. You got to act. And the crazy thing is, the joke in Vegas is that you bet on the house. I bet my entire house on this project. I had enough money for a down payment for a place here, but I'm like, if I'm gonna see this vision through, and I truly do believe God gave me this vision, and I see a lot of God stories that have come from this now, that I need to put it all on the line.
We have a video camera here, so I want to show the flyer so that the listeners that are watching on kkvv.com can see it and not just hear it. It's the Christian Influencer Convention, and that is July 26th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Tell us where that will be located.
It's at South Point Hotel.
Okay. It's at the South Point, so yeah, that's just Las Vegas Boulevard South. We'll give you guys the address later, but anyone that's locals will know about the South Point Casino, and it's a lengthy one. It's from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Yes, sir.
What will this entail for visitors?
Okay, so there's going to be 2 sessions at the beginning. There will be a lunch, then there'll be 2 more sessions, followed by a worship, prayer, and response. Actually, there's worship at the beginning, but then there's a worship, prayer, response session as well, which is means altar call. And at the very end will be one last session. And I can give the lowdown on this. We just got Braden Sorbo to be a part of this, who's Kevin Sorbo's son.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. another fellow friend of ours, Dale Davidson, suggested it to me, and he was able to give us a connection. And he's the target demographic that we want for this. He's in his 20s, just barely mid-20s, and he's proselytizing God, and that's what we want.
Oh, wow. Kevin Sorbos, he has done functions for the pro-life movement here in Las Vegas. So that is awesome. I had no idea that Braden.
Yeah, breaking news for you.
Yeah. For me.
Yeah, because like we haven't announced this yet. We just need to put some other things together for the live stream. But yeah, please go to wearecsc.com when we make the official announcement for.
He'll be at the.
Oh yeah, he's coming.
Oh, that's
Braden,
awesome.
Braden
Braden Sorbos will be at this convention. And I was searching earlier. I know where the South Point is, but but for anybody that doesn't, that's at 9777 South Las Vegas Boulevard, Las Vegas 89183. So again, it's 9777 South Las Vegas Boulevard, Las Vegas 89183. South at the South Point, again, July 26th, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Now you have all of these people on your flyer. Look, I'm not technical. I should be more technical than I am, and I don't watch. I don't have I have a television, but I didn't have one for 20 years, and I don't watch any TV. But
extrapolate
tell the viewers.
Yeah, I'll extrapolate a little bit more. So, like I was saying, I have a heart for the younger generation, and how am I gonna do that? So for me, it's infiltrating the places that they're at, which is YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. That's the thing that really enthralls people.
Yeah.
So I am like, okay, how do I get to that? So then now I'm just having all these other Christian influencers that proselytize is a good name. Especially I have some apologists that are coming. Ruth and Katie, What Do You Mean, John McCrae, and John Clash are a few of them. And they're great men of Christ. We have all these other fun couples that are coming as well, like Taylor and Sophia and the Cordova family, Devin and Hunter, and they do a lot of like fun little like pranks or gags with each other, or guessing games or interviewing. And Israel Wright, he's actually a former Green Beret.
That's awesome.
He's mostly on Twitch, but he also does Instagram. And Brian Hall, he's been hilarious. He's an impressionist. He does mostly like Disney voices or SpongeBob or whatever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And just so that the listeners know, influencer is somebody that has is it a podcast or is it just
Influencer
video?
can be anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, it doesn't have to be even a social media platform. I arguably say that Jesus Christ is the biggest influencer in our life. You know, he's been known on people's lips for 2,000 years.
Yes.
So some people are like, oh, influence is such a negative connotation. I'm like, you watch your tongue there, young man. Jesus Christ is the one that is the biggest influencer in our life.
Yeah.
So I say that anybody that even is a football player, an athlete, we're looking into that. We're actually looking into some bands and stuff like that for next year. But and those, they might not have a huge social media presence, but they are still an influencer. And at the end of the day, what I want is that for people to know that you could be the biggest influencer for your family or friend. Like, everyone can be an influencer.
Yeah, and it's funny, in this world that we live in, we have our media. We have is an influencer, and we have good. This is a good influence. All right, and all of these individuals here, these are all great influencers, good influencers, but we have so many bad influencers. It's basically, that's a battleground for the hearts and minds of how we go forward. The influencers media is, you come home late at night and you're going to take something that you saw on the TV the night before, or in this case on YouTube or something, and that becomes a part of you. It's hard to erase something you've seen out of your skull. It's just, whether you agree with it or not, it's hard to unsee what you've seen. And that's why it's so important to support good influencers. They're the ones who are going to show you what's good and how we can meaningfully spread the good news of Jesus Christ. That's what is so special about this. There is going to be so many influencers. The thing about YouTube is that you can be anonymous. they'll see your face, but you just give a first name, and you could say all kinds of horrible things. And there are, unfortunately. So this is such a treat, because until I met Brian today, I was not aware that there were so many spreading the good news, and I want to help.
There's hundreds.
There's hundreds.
And probably thousands.
Do
now
you
at this
have a
point.
website too, Brian?
Yes, we are CIC.com.
CIC.com.
Yeah. Oh, so I'll say it
So what
more
does it
slower,
stand
but we
for?
are Christian Influencers Convention.com. So we are CIC.com.
Awesome. And then, this is just terrific. See, I'm just at a loss that I always think of TV, but it is actually, people are using
They're
TV
only really on the social media
on social media,
platforms, yeah.
which is for all the
Which is like YouTube is the new TV.
yeah.
Yeah.
When you spoke of the talents, you've got a talent. These guys have the talents of influencing. You spoke of I believe it was the father with the three sons, and one buried it in the ground. One tried his best, but he didn't get
the
any.
parable of talents.
Yeah. And then the other one that the best son, I shouldn't say the best son,
It was,
that's successful.
It was 5-2-1. The father gave 5 talents to one, 2 to another, and 1 to another. The one with the 5 bring 5 back, so he made double. He made 10. The 2 made 2 back and invested and got 2 back, so he got 4. And the 1, he buried it, and he's like, oh, I just wanted to preserve it, but the father strictly instructed him to use it and use it for his kingdom. And I'm kind of interjecting.
He was afraid to use it.
Yeah, he's afraid to use it, and he
Yes.
buried it.
Yeah.
And now he's a wicked servant because of that.
Yeah.
And that can be proselytized to the spiritual giftings. Use your spiritual gifts.
And I'm when you said that, you brought it up earlier in the show. That's what the problem is. That's why this vocal minority is getting their way.
Fear is powerful.
Fear is powerful. I'm not talking about spiritual gifts. I'm just talking about gifts in general. The salvation is such a powerful gift. I can't help it. I have to tell everybody about Jesus that I meet. He's a healer. But what I'm saying is, we have to stand up and talk about Jesus Christ. We have to just tell the people.
He's our waymaker.
He is just so wonderful. The people are so consumed with their daily life, so distracted, that they are like in a video game. They are just so, with all of these distractions and technologies and creature comforts. It's almost like a video game. And the devil is just so crafty that he was able to make a tailor-made. He's in media. He has the blockbuster movies, and Lord willing, that will change. And it is so neat. This Christian influencer is like that escape hatch of Logan's Run. The ones that, if you land on one of these guys' channels when you're doing YouTube, and I don't know exactly how the algorithm is, but you see a video you're watching, and then the algorithm, you have like 5 suggested videos. It is just so neat how you could land without even intending to have landed on one of these guys' channel. And if you just watch, and now all of a sudden you have a Christian on YouTube, that is just so amazing.
Yes.
To see how the gospel can be spread for the young kids on the internet. Amen to that. That is not. It's not. We don't have to say that. That can be. That is through this convention. So how best should people get involved? Can they purchase tickets in advance, or?
Yeah. We have tickets going live already at wearecac.com, and then once they click on Get Tickets, I'll go to our Eventbrite page. We would love for people to come together. That's like, especially during the pandemic lockdown, I truly do feel people are being more and more isolated, and they want more tangible. People are buying vinyl records of all things. because they just want more tangibility versus digital. And I'm just trying to get the good word out there that this is a safe event, that people can go to and have community, and hopefully it can help foster that.
And this is also then about networking. So any Christians that want to get into this field, into the media aspect of social networking, can come down and network, get phone numbers and names, contacts. Also, if you have something you would want to market, I'm just thinking out loud here, they could meet some of these powerhouses of Christian influence and just pass it on to them. And if they like it, you guys could coordinate and make it grow. Like the lilies in the parable of the lilies that just grow on the water and just multiply and multiply.
Yeah.
I'd have to look it up, but
I think I know what you're talking about. But yeah, I truly do believe, I mean, that's one of the things I want is, first and foremost, I want everybody to have fun at this thing, but at the end of the day, I want them to have an accountability to Him. Mm-hmm. And one of those avenues is bringing sponsors to the event, bringing people that want to even donate to this event, and if they can't make it, or there will be a live stream soon. We'll have it up and running in probably less than half a week. Mm-hmm. And I encourage you to follow us at wearecsca.com once we announce that. And but if you can come in person, all the better, because like Harold kindly said, we want to foster anybody else that wants to become a Christian influencer, either through these creators, through questions that Chris F. Walker will be asking about, or through just putting the sponsors together with them.
Let me just show the flyer one last time, and I encourage any listeners, tell your church about this too, because this will be a fun event. It's for young people, so this is something that will be dear to your grandchildren's children and grandchildren as well. It's Christian Influence Convention. It is July 26th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the South Point Casino, which is at 9777 South Las Vegas Boulevard, 89183. Again, tell your pastors about this as well. This is a little bit like youth ministry. I mean, they're not. It's
outreach.
It's outreach.
Yeah.
It's outreach. So just spread the word. God bless you.
God bless. Thank you.
Thank you, my brothers and sisters, for tuning in today. We'd like to invite you to our Sunday night evangelistic revival service every Sunday night at 6 p.m. at 2625 Rainbow Boulevard at the corner of Sahara and Rainbow. The name of the church is called Seek Jesus First, but we have our evangelistic revival services there every Sunday night, 6 p.m. at the corner of Sahara and Rainbow, 2625 Rainbow Boulevard. Thank you, and God bless you.